Hey everyone, I appreciate what you all shared on your emails in response to the last email about the voices that you're shifting from, the voices of fear and the voices that you're shifting to. And I just want to remind us that that shift can happen in a snap and it can happen multiple times within the same conversation. And so in the coaching world, there is this concept we have of insulting the imposter. And so when we notice ourselves feeling those voices of fear come in, I can't, I'm not good enough, I'm not of value, we can just sort of poke fun at ourselves and get ourselves to shift in a snap. You know, for me, it would be, oh, there I go, wanting to know it all again. And so we can kind of be playful with it, poke fun at ourselves, and then get us to shift on to the louder voice and a new way of being for us in a moment. And I just wanted to remind us, as this video is going to be about giving us some enrollment tools as we continue on this journey, and I want to continue to send out some short ones during the week that will continue to support us in our conversation. And remember that you can reach out to myself or Kristen or your small group leaders at any time. I wanted to remind us just the power of our presence and our way of being within the conversation. It can be the same exact words, but when it's a way of being of love, vulnerability, and generosity, people get that, and it's powerful and has a different impact on people. And I heard this story of the Dalai Lama being interviewed by a late night comedian. I think it was John Oliver, and John Oliver basically is poking fun at the Dalai Lama, and he kind of laughing at him. He's the butt of the joke, and the audience is laughing at the Dalai Lama. And the Dalai Lama just has this childlike joy about him. He's been through genocide. Basically, 1 billion people, the country of China, don't like this guy and have even been trying to kill him. He's super oppressed, and he just has this childlike joy about him. There's a lightness to him, and he begins to just kind of go with it and pokes fun at himself, and he doesn't use many words, mostly just his presence. And there's a noticeable shift in John Oliver and the audience as well. You can feel it. You can feel the energy and the breathing, and their facial features change. And the Dalai Lama begins to win these guys over. And they begin to root for him and cheer for him and love and support this man just by the way he's present with them. And so to me, that was just a powerful illustration of the power of our presence and our way of being with people in our conversations. And so as we follow up our conversations and follow up with people, I just wanted to remind us that following up can be, along with our conversations, a way of inviting people into the transformation that they want. Most of the time, regardless of what people's answer is, yes or no, to me, that's usually never the real answer, because how many of us have yeses that haven't registered, and I've had so many no's that actually ended up registering, my wife, Amanda, being one of them. And so, following up is a way of love and actually inviting people into the transformation that they really desire. Because most of us, we just all have our automatic ways of being and responding and interacting with people. And so a lot of times, when people give an answer, most people in their life probably don't actually follow up with them. And so by us just following up with them and continuing to reach out when they're ghosting us, that's calling them to respond in a way that other people probably don't actually call them out. And so to me, it's an act of love and already beginning that process of transformation. And the conversation, of course, is a big part of that as well. I wanted to give us 4 questions that can be tools as we navigate people going through the follow-up process, and especially if their answer is no. So I have 4 questions that I typically go to, and the first one is, if their answer is no, whether it's right there on the spot or a follow-up, I just go, yeah, okay, not a problem. How come? And just out of place of curiosity, I have no idea. And so they respond with whatever it is that's true for them. And most of the answers are, money, time off work, childcare. And so I go, okay, I get it, not a problem. And really, really feel that with them, because it is a lot of money. And And then I go, yeah, it sounds like if money wasn't an issue or whatever it is for them, that wasn't an issue that you'd want to go. Is that right? Or some way you answer that question. Most of the time it's yes, if those weren't an issue. This is where you really begin to understand what's really the issue for them. Is it money? Is it these things? Or is there something else going on? And so it's kind of a place for you to continue to be discovery and curiosity with them. And so if their answer is yes at that point, then I go, okay, especially if it's money and you can fill in whatever you want here for your own question. But I go, so if you got X, Y, and Z, whatever it is that they want to work on in their life, if you really got that, would that be of value to you? Would that be a $445 value? Would that be, worth asking the time off work? Whatever it is, would that be of value to you? And most of the time it is yes. And then we just get to, okay, it sounds like this is a real obstacle for you. And if it weren't, then you'd want to go because you want to get these X, Y, and Z in your life. So how do we make this not an obstacle? How can we overcome this together? And so this is where the brainstorming process begins. And so, if it's money, it begins to be like, hey, what would you be able to afford, or who would you be able to ask? What are other ways to raise money? Or, we can begin that brainstorming process with them. And Amanda uses this great line that is, I've noticed that what it takes for us to actually get to the training, there's a similarity between that and what we need to do in our lives to get the results of the things that we really want, that we just talked to them about. And so perhaps that's asking people for help. And so if it's money, then hey, we get to ask people to help get us here. And the training actually begins in the process of them signing up for the training. And so sometimes I bring that line out and draw the parallels for them. And so those are 4 tools for you guys and some reminders. Hope you guys have a great week. Bye.